Congratulations.
You appointed your cabinet, you appointed a minister of mines, and you gave a directive that we need to produce 3 million tons of copper in the next 10 years from 2021 to 2031. I said, 3 million tons of copper in 10 years. When I looked at the mining sector, Mr. President, it was so depressed. Nothing was firing. Everybody was fighting in court. And there was nothing that looked like, at the level Zambia was, we could reach 3 million tons in 10 years. And you said, we are going to ride with it. And one of the things that you said was that get all those mining tenements that are fighting, get them out of court. Apart from that, there is a song that you used to sing about a certain mine called Lubambe, which you said, Minister, this tenement could give us what we need in terms of one of the biggest mines in the country. And Mr. President, through your travels, which a lot of people criticized, you went and found an investor so that the Lubambe license could be hived off and give birth to what we are doing here today. Fast forward 4 years later, Mr. President, Zambia is rushing towards 1 million tons of copper. And that has made me believe that really you are a visionary, and leadership that you have brought to this country is unique and unprecedented. I remember we never used to sleep with the Committee of Ministers on the negotiations. On one side, the mines that we needed to resuscitate. On the other side, the Lubambe license being hived off so that Copperbelt can come in and do what we are doing today. Yesterday, when we were doing that maternity wing, Mr. President, I said, this tenement here has been around from the time God created the earth. How come we have discovered this ore body so rich in this period? It's called leadership. It's called vision. Because you have provided stability, predictability in the economy, which has attracted investors of the caliber of Copperbelt to come into this country. I want to give a leakage. When we were meeting the investors in Copperbelt, some of them came together with Copperbelt. Others were attracted by the prudent and unique leadership of one President Hakainde Hichilema. And they have also come on board because they are attracted with the kind of investment, Mr. President, that you have, with the kind of environment that you have created in our country. And therefore, sir, this country, I want to be a bit political, politician, we are going to vote in August. We cannot afford to go backwards. We have to go on this trajectory where the country has already attracted in excess of $12 billion worth of investment in the mining sector. Tulea Noyuine, who has allowed 3 million children back into school and is also feeding them. I last saw that in Kaunda days, Mr. President, when we were being fed in school. Now, you are asking where is the money coming from? There is the investment you are seeing today. 40 million kwacha worth of CDF each constituency. Number 1.5 million. Shale ya kuisempia. Mr. President, I don't want to go on and on because telling your story is actually writing a book and it can take me the whole day just telling your story. So at this particular time, without taking out anything from your speech, I would like to invite you, Mr. President, to come on the podium and talk to us and through us, your people across the country.
Thank you very much, Minister. And then we take our seats, please. Those that have seats, Nabekare Mkwai. Thank you very much. Let me acknowledge the Royal Highnesses that are here. Abe Nabakasensa, thank you for being here. Minister of Mines and the cabinet colleagues that are here, including the provincial minister, we recognize you. I want to appreciate the public sector, officials, central government, local government, mayors, council chairpersons, members of parliament, yes. But let me acknowledge our dear colleagues, the investors, Copperbelt Metals, Dr. House and your team. Let me acknowledge ZCCM IH Chair, my dear friend, Festum Sonda and your team. Let me acknowledge the board of Mingomba and the management, Madam Makai. Your capable team is leading the way here. A team led by a young Zambian lady and who was together with the board, leadership of Copperbelt Metals, has employed a lot of young talent, male and female. We are very, very grateful to have you around here. We recognize your presence, of course. Let me acknowledge the leadership of our party, UPND. Without that party, I wouldn't be president of Zambia. I acknowledge the UPND and its leadership, national management, and the provincial and rank and file. This is the way our constitutional democracy is structured. Leadership comes through political parties, so we must respect political parties and other parties that are present here. Let me give a special recognition to the investors in Mingomba. Investors through Copperbelt Metals, the Americans, Japanese, and others. And also the investors through ZCCM-IH, majority of whom happen to be the 21 million Zambians who own ZCCM-IH, and indeed our minority shareholders, for being here, but also for having invested in this project called Mingomba. I want to acknowledge the next door mine that is here, that hived out this part of the tenement so we could birth Mingomba project. I'm talking about Lubambe mine. And I love what I'm seeing, what I'm hearing, that Mackay and your team, you are working with your neighbor, Lubambe mine. You're working with other mines, sharing data. That is clever, because this ore body is interconnected. And the benefits that come through Mingomba will extend to other mines. But also Mackay was telling me the historical data that they put together. And that historical data includes the old stone that came out of the Lubambe mine many years back, which has informed the work happening in Mingomba here. You can see history matters, heritage matters, asset endowment matters. Yes, together with other attributes. Very important. Dr. Sixtus Mulenga, my dear friend, I'm happy to know that you are also part of the Mingomba team providing technical support. And I want to say to Mingomba, to the investors, Copperbelt Metals and ZCCM IH, you are acting clever. That's been clever. So thank you for the way you are working around here. May I simply, thank you very much. May I simply say the community of Chililabombwe, together with the workers, yes, 600 plus at this stage, and we know there will be a lot more following today's ceremony, the work that has been going on. There will be a lot more employees. So I want to recognize the employees, special recognition to the employees, including those who clean around here, those who make tea, those who do basic works. Without them, the scientists will not have the environment that they're having to work under. So thank you to everybody for being present. I also want to thank the media and those that go talented with praise singing like those there. Thank you very much for that. Let me say that today, to join those who have spoken before me, to simply say what you have said is correct. I'll add a few things to the story you have told already. But frankly speaking, today is a great day. It should be a happy day. I am happy. This fellow here is happy. I don't know about you. I am happy myself to be here today, because vision is difficult for many to appreciate. But when it is implemented or translated to the ground, and people can see shafts like what we have gone through to see today, this morning, then many more begin to see what is the meaning of vision. So I want to thank the investors in the project once more for your vision, which vision got aligned with the Zambian government and the Zambian people's vision. I think the convergence of that vision creates projects like this, and subsequently mines like Mingomba. It's very important that we understand at that early stage, if I may say, without a shared vision between the host government, a government that God endowed with these resources, the people that God endowed with these resources, having what I call convergence with that of the investors, there would have been no Mingomba. Absolutely no Mingomba here. There would have been no development investments that we've experienced so far. And it's important in life to recognize the value of partnerships at different levels to complete the jigsaw puzzle, and to be able to respect, both sides respecting that partnership, that shared vision, in order to create value, like what we're seeing in Mingomba here. I want to say on this happy day, happy occasion of groundbreaking, shaft sinking, shafts drilling that have gone down 1.7 kilometers. Just imagine where you are seated. If you were to visit the underground, where you are seated, imagine visiting going down 1.7 kilometers. If there was no technology and we dropped you there, you will be cooked. You will not come back alive, you will be meat, or you will be buried there. But because of technology, we now are talking about sinking, drilling, holes, the deepest ever in this country. Nobody has ever sunk a hole of 1.7 kilometers in this country. May we clap for Mingomba and the partners. It means that we are discovering more things we didn't know as we walk over this ground. So, this is what partnerships can deliver. Thank you to Cobalt Metals, thank you to ZCCM-IH. Today opens yet another chapter in Zambia's mining history. The ministers, Copperbelt, and to some extent, Minister of Mines, talked about us resuscitating mines, greenfield mines. Were not part of what that story was. It was brownfield mines. What do I mean? Mines which were already worked on, where mining had taken place. But for some reason, in the 10 years before we came into office, 10 years, yes, previous leadership, this is not to exercise anybody. It to simply say, we lost production in mines, in the brownfields mines. Assets became unproductive. And our job when we came through was to resuscitate these brownfield mines. KCM, Mopani, 28 shaft, Kalengwa mine, 47 years out of production. And we can go on and on. But why I'm saying today is a new chapter is because Mingomba project here represents not a brownfield mine. It represents a greenfield, a new mine, completely new mine. Abena Kopala, Abena Zambia, Mletasha. Yes. Kamulumbo Omwe. This is a new mine, new opportunity, additional opportunities, which was not there. This is the chapter we're opening today in the story of mining in this country. I wanted to make that point very clear. My colleagues who have spoken have already said this means more than a mine, a new mine. It means jobs, opportunities, community revival. It means Zambia marching on in taking its rightful place globally in terms of copper production. The copper which is in much needed in today's world for various reasons, including climate change, that requires, if you like, alternative energy, but green energy. This is the story here. It's more than a mine. It's a lot more. The investments numbers have been given already, and what is likely to be invested as the shafts are sunk here and the development of the mine proceeds. I shall not repeat that, but substantial amounts of money. Now, let me be clear to the people of Zambia through this platform. If this government had not restructured the debt, it was not practically possible to bring these levels of investment. because the country had no capacity to attract the investments. And that's why we spent in our early days in office, months, years, to achieve debt restructuring. And we must not go back there again. No. Mwiwirire numa abena Zambia. Natule yafe kuntach. Chapa. That is the issue here. The story is connected. We damage our economy. We borrow more than we can service. We live beyond our means. We create difficulties in attracting investment. And I do want to thank the investors once more for making the decision to invest in this country. And particularly here in Mingomba, Chililabombwe. This is truly commendable. And for us, Mingomba is important. But Mingomba is not the only one. Yet Mingomba brings a lot of value to the mining sector in terms of technology that has been applied here. Artificial intelligence. In terms of the simulations that I've seen there, the inventions that are coming out of Mingomba here, as a laboratory for research and development. As Mackay calls it, a university here, assembling talent. We want to ensure that we leverage on this value and take it into other mines and extract what we may call common minimum standards on how mines should operate and apply technology. I don't want to be too technical, but from where I sit, we must always agree that 1 + 1 is not 2. 1 + 1 is 2 + X, or 2X, call it anything like that, arithmetically. Mingomba represents that. I simply want to say that this partnership must go far. And I'm happy to hear Dr. House whispering to me and to others as we walked around, as we had briefings, that more exploration is being done. For copper, yes. But for lithium, for nickel, for other minerals. And I want to assure Dr. House and your team, Copperbelt Metals, and ZCCMIH, and the country as a whole, that this government, your government, invested in high-resolution geophysical survey of the whole country, something we've never done since independence. Since the colonialists actually had an administration around here. And for the traditional leaders, since you started ruling us, I don't know, maybe 1,000, 2,000 years or more, nobody ever thought that it was important to do a nationwide geophysical high-resolution survey so that we can collect primary data that will allow you, Dr. House, Copperbelt Metals, ZCCM, Mingomba, any other combination of JVs that you have or you want to structure, some primary information to help you make decisions as to where you should sink the drill rigs, because you now have data. That's a tremendous development. And the Minister of Mines told us that we are over 60% of nationally. That data, people of Zambia, is critical. And out of there, Copperbelt Metals, we have a preference here. We like to work in joint venture so that we can have shared interests. People of Zambia want to work with investors through shared interests, such as the Mingomba project. That's our preference. So that we can all call these mines our mines. An ordinary Zambian will call Mingomba their mine. That is important. It's the best insurance policy against expropriation and other vices, in my view. Partnership, mutual, yes. Respectful, yes. that will deliver benefits to investors across board. Because today is a happy day, I want to say that let us, Mingomba and other mines, make the local content principle concept work. Let us make the local content principle policy work. Where we are faced with challenges, let's deal with those challenges, so we can have more Zambians participating in this beautiful project and eventually mine called Mingomba. And I know that we went through a lot of debate around this issue and to and fro, but we reached consensus. Now let's implement that. Its value is clear to all of us. This project is tremendous. If you look at it from infrastructure point of view, local business opportunities, more money in the communities. As I hear now, it's difficult to get accommodation in Chililabombwe. It means already there's so much money in the Chililabombwe community that even small lodges are benefiting from. Yes. Who would then say Mingomba doesn't belong to us if it's delivering value to a lodge owner in Chililabombwe and overall Chingola and the surrounding areas and this country as a whole? Skills, I've already talked about it. Technology transfer, government revenue, global supply chains are all beneficiaries. This is a wonderful project. You will all agree with me. Fantastic project. The economic spillovers are clear. Logistics are benefiting. Engineering, manufacturing, especially local manufacturing, fabrication, trade. And I must say, as a government, we are proud of this Mingomba project. Proud of Copperbelt Metals, our partners, proud of ZSMIH, and we want this relationship to deliver more value, to produce more, to yield more for all stakeholders. Shareholders, thank you for coming to this project shaft sinking launch today. You have traveled long distances. You believed in this project, this country, and you are able to be present on this day. May we clap for the investors that have had to travel from a long distance to be here. And take the message back. I'm the Chief Marketing Officer for Zambia. I'm the Chief Salesman for Zambia. I'm the Chief Investment Officer for Zambia. I am now inviting these investors to join my team of investment promoters for this country. In Mingomba, yes, but beyond the Mingomba. I did ask them in the small briefing room there, and I take it they've agreed. Word of mouth still is of value. Despite the technological advancement, word of mouth is still of value. So when one investor speaks to another about the experiences in Zambia, positive experiences, hey, my dear friends, there will always be issues. We inherited a country that was almost broken. We are rebuilding the country, putting the pieces together. There will be challenges, of course, but that's why we are leaders. That's why we are men and women with a clear vision who will overcome those challenges, as what we have done here in Mingomba, including creating space, 3,000 hectares, which was not there, which was not envisaged, of space for the tailings infrastructure. Any other problem we experience, Dr. House, Mackay, team, this is MIH, tell us, don't wait a minute, tell us what challenges you are facing and we'll tackle them. And we'll tackle them because they need to be dealt with in order for the project to proceed. I am an optimist, if you want to call me that. I'm an optimist. I'm a believer that we can We were created to overcome problems. God cannot give us a problem we cannot handle. We were created to solve problems, to clear the way. And this project is one where we'll continue clearing the way, anything that stands in between success and failure. We are here. We will continue sharpening regulations so that it's supportive, it's not a hindrance. We will definitely continue doing things that are meant for governments to do, such as improving the operating environment, so that we can scale up investments and also achieve our agenda of 3 million tons and beyond. Dr. House, thank you for being an optimist that you are able to do more beyond Mingomba to contribute to our 3 million tons. May we clap for Dr. House. I love such mindsets. I'm sorry to say. I love mindsets that say we can do it. We can even do more. That's how the world moves. Otherwise, the world would be mourning and groaning and just covering faces with blankets and cloth in shame. No, we walk straight. Our faces straight, confronting problems. That is the value of what God endowed us with as human beings, more than other creatures of the world. Gave us extra intelligence, extra gray matter to deal with issues. And when we are not capable on our own, we reach out to someone else who has the knowledge, who has experience. And I think that's the way we should do things. May I also say, we would like to see Mingomba support a lot more small businesses. I was happy to see that you are growing something here, some food. Miners here will need food. So thank you, Makai, for beginning to develop the farming enterprise around here to feed the miners and also to be part of the supply chain here in this part of Chililabombwe and the Copperbelt. May I say that this partnership is a modern one, but it's anchored on history. This partnership will drive success. This partnership will help us to derive more benefits from Zambia's mineral resources for the people of Zambia. This is our oil and gas. These minerals are Zambia's oil and gas. And we want to do with them what other countries have done, to use them to develop the whole country, to improve the living standards of our people, to offer opportunities to all, including the treasury envelope that will be enhanced so we can continue supporting free education, skills development, training. That's the way we see these resources, these minerals and others, that they must deliver more value for our people and share that value with our investors, those who have taken the risk to basically extract value from the endowments that we have. Benefits, yes, will be broader. But the community of Chililabombwe, Kitwe, Chingola, Copperbelt, Mr. Msonda has already spoken about. Protect this investment. This is your investment. Cobalt metals and JCCM will not come and lift this investment and take it somewhere. No, it will be here. Immediate community, you are the beneficiaries. Take care, look after this investment. Don't vandalize anything here. Because it's high tech. If you snatched one of the gadgets I saw there, it disappears. You will basically cost this project millions of dollars through lost time, analytical time. So take care of these citizens here. That is why this government doesn't support corruption. Dr. House, I want to echo your words. Do not pay bribes or a bribe to anybody. This is the policy of this government. Do not pay. If somebody asks you for a bribe, report that person. Anyone who asks you for a bribe, report that person. Communicate And that's why we are happy to fight corruption as we're doing. I know we can do more, we will do more, so that assets are protected and they realize their true value, intended value for that matter. So I agree with you. And let me also say, it is really, really, for me, an opportunity to see this asset here in a different way. What do I mean as I conclude? I must say to you, Zambia is open for business. This is a demonstration that Zambia is open for business. Where there was nothing here, now we're talking of shots. Business in terms of investment, trade. I said in 2022, when I was making a presentation at the European Union Parliament, as I concluded then, I said, this is what we intend to do as a new government, and that Zambia is back in the Champions League. This is part of the Champions League I was talking about. This is it, amongst many. And I must say, jobs will be assured. Business opportunities will be assured. Prosperity will be assured. Let me make a comment on the US-Zambia relationship. This relationship is old, 1964. This relationship has gone through different leaderships on the American side, on the Zambian side. It does not matter who is in government. I'm talking of party, not name, not president. Presidents are important. But whether it's Democrats or Republicans, the relationship between the US and Zambia endures. It does not matter whether it's UPND in government here, or PF, or indeed MMD or UNIP. Our relationship, because it's anchored on the American and Zambian people, must endure and will endure. And I want us to understand that the styles may be different, but our long-term interests are permanent. American interests, Zambian interests are permanent. We both want the best for our people. Best for Americans, best for Zambians. And that's why in our partnership, we must always have space to accommodate the interest of Americans, at the same time the interest of Zambians. Then we'll have an enduring and everlasting partnership. I want to use and make a clarion call that this Mingomba project must be one of the reasons that should advance and improve the US-Zambia relationship. Here we are, working together, and we'll be producing 300,000 metric tons of copper. In fact, we will do more. I'm convinced where I stand that we'll do more. I am very convinced that we'll do more, because this asset is great. So let's use this project to further deepen our partnership, to build the US-Zambia partnership, and to deliver copper, which the world needs so much. By working together, we'll deliver the copper that the world needs. And I must say to the Mingomba project, the Mingomba business, we want to see more value addition out of here as we extract the metal. Yes, export the metal, and Mingomba will be free to export the metal to America. We have no restrictions, except that some of the metal must be retained for local manufacturing, because that capacity also enhances and deepens the growth agenda for us as Zambians and benefits everybody along the way, improves Zambia's capacity and Zambia's ability to engage with partners like the US in a more meaningful way with mutual benefits. I was saying to the investors out there, we are grateful to them and we want them to invest more in this country. And we will receive their investments, we will respect their investments, we will work with their investments so that they can achieve a return on their investment. By the way, for the investors seated in the tent there, this is one of the few countries on this continent that has no exchange controls. Please take note of that. You make your investment here, you make your money, you pay your taxes, meet your obligations, you externalize your dividends. Except we'll persuade you to reinvest as much as possible so that you can grow your money from this part of the world. No exchange controls. And we've been in this regime for over 30 years. So it's not by fluke. It is by design, deliberate, intentional. I think Nalanda Pafulawe. Yeah, Nalanda Pafula. With these messages, I want to say the Mingomba mine project shaft sinking is officially launched. The project is officially launched. Tubombe she. May God bless Mingomba, may God bless us all, may God bless the United States of America, may God bless Zambia. Thank you very much. Thank you.